Hello, my name is Muhammad Shahriza Kamawi Malik from 80105A.
Hello, I am Muhammad Amir Fazli Miharun.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Siti Maslina binti Mokhtar from 80105.
Hi, Assalamualaikum. My name is Nur Izzati Shazwani binti Zulkifli.
Hi, my name is Aileen Dalia binti Yusuf from 80105A.
Hi, salam sejahtera. My name is Zainul Zafira Al-Bakar Kasim from 80105A.
So today we would like to present about perception of the self and others on chapter 3. In chapter 3, we cover 4 subtopics, which is the self in interpersonal communication. Second, perception in interpersonal communication. Third, impression formation. And the last one is impression management, goals and strategies. The first point in self in interpersonal communication is self-concept. Self-concept is image of who you are and the way you see yourself. Self-concept comes from 4 sources. First, other image. Concept of the looking glass self. You see the image of yourself that others reveal to you. Second, social comparison. A way of developing the self-concept by comparing yourself to peers. We can compare to those less effective than we in order to feel better about ourselves. Third, cultural teaching. Your culture and its media instill in you many beliefs, values, and attitudes that provide a benchmark against which you measure yourself. And the last, self-evaluation, which is we read to our own behavior, interpret it, and evaluate it. Second point is self-awareness. Self-awareness represents the extent to which you know yourself. The Johari window provides insight into self-awareness and describe for self. First, open self represent all information, behavior, attitude, feeling, desire, motivation, ideals that you and others know. Second, blind self represent all the things about yourself that others know but of which you are ignored. A third, hidden self contain all that you know of yourself and of others that you keep secret. And the last is unknown self, represent truth about yourself that neither you nor others know.
Okay, next I would like to explain about the way that can improve your self-awareness. Firstly, you should to ask yourself about yourself, like your strengths, your weakness, and your goals. Next, you should to listen to others, which is to pay your attention to verbal and non-verbal behavior. Besides that, you should to actively seek yourself information such as to reduce your blind area. For example, not to compare yourself with other persons. In addition, see your different self, where we are seen differently by different people. Last but not least, you should increase your open self. Self-disclosure can enhance self-awareness. Okay, for the next slide is about self-esteem. Self-esteem is measure of how valuable you think you are. Okay, self-esteem include 3 components, which is cognitive self-esteem, refer to your thinking about your strengths and your weakness. Second is affective esteem, refer to your feelings about your strength and weakness. Third, behavioral self-esteem, refer to verbal and non-verbal behavior like disclosure, assertiveness, conflict strategy, and gestures. Cause of low self-esteem, for example, is poor academic performance in school resulting in a lack of confidence. Okay, next is the way to improve your self-esteem. Firstly is we should to use positive affirmations correctly. Like we can do it. Second is identify your competency and develop them. Third, learn to accept compliments. Fourth, eliminate self-criticism and introduce self-comparisons. Last but not least is affirms your real worth.
Perception in interpersonal communication. Perception is defined as a process of one ultimate word perception and involve further sensory input processing. Perception in human process stimulation and translate into organized experience. Perception have 5 stages. Okay, for the first stage is stimulation. Stimulation is a part of this perception process involve relationship with particular stimuli. This world is full of stimuli which, through various sense, can attract our attention. So we can systematically describe the sight, sound, smell, and taste that fill our conscious experience. Stimulation include selective attention and selective exposure. Selective attention occurs with the expectation of meeting needs and proving present. Okay, for example, a teacher talk to a student, but the student is daydreaming. He would not listen what his teacher say, and until the teacher call his name. Okay. Selective exposure occur through the display of information that validate current views, lead to goals, and has satisfactory condition. For example, once appears to refer more online after purchase a phone or ask people around if they purchase the product is nice because we want to tell ourselves that we have made a right choice and avoid negative review. Okay, the next stage is organization. Perception organized by rule, schemata, and script. Okay, organized by rule, people perceive things that are physically close together from a unit. Okay, people develop schemata from actual experience as well as vicarious experience from daily activities, readings, or hearsay. A script, a script is a form of schema that focus on action, event, or procedure. Okay, it is a procedure how we behave and how we organize it with a pattern by our action. Interpretation, evaluation. In this stage is two process of stimuli by individual experience, needs, wants, value, expectation, physical and emotional state, gender, and belief meaning based on by individual rules, schemata, and script. Okay, for example, when they meet a doctor, they tend to view this person as someone successful, conscious, and academic strong. In other words, evaluating individual depends on the script itself, the ways individual behave and perform appropriate or inappropriate action. Okay, for another stage is memory. This is a storage of both perception and interpretation elevation are kept according to script and schemas. Event or experience is not the objective of recollection, but it is more likely heavily influenced by individual preconception and individual schemata. Okay, the last stage is recall. After some time, the memory stored by individual needs to remember for those information. The recall stage reconstruct what individual have heard in a meaningful way. Okay, recall information that is compatible with schemas. However, failure to do so is incompatible with schemas. Recalling information contradict one's schemas drastic because it is force people to think or even rethink.
Okay, the next slide is impression formation. That we can define the process that you go through in forming impression to of another person. Sometimes you refer to person perception that we can conclude is you see the person and the first impression that you see the person. Okay, the perception. Okay, the process that have is seek. First is self-fulfilling perception. Process C that have is prediction that come true because you act it to become true. Okay, the second is personality theory that the rule that tell which person characteristic is better than another person. There's two effect, halo effect and reserve halo effect. The halo effect is the positive effect that you see from the person, and reserve halo effect is the negative effect. Perceptual accentuation is what you expect from the person. What you see the strength or weakness from the person. Okay, the next is primacy and recency effect. That primacy is the first impression you see the person, and the recency is the last impression. What you have to choose, what you have to know, what you have to make decision. Okay, the next is consistency. Is how you want to maintain balance among perception or attitude of the person. The last is attribution of control that we have to control. You have to control yourself to tend to dislike people from the positive or negative. They have three self-serving bias that we take credit for the positive and we deny for the negative. The second is over attribution is we focus to two character, then we choose which one is better. Okay, the third is fundamental attribution error that we have to know the internal factor and external factor before we choose the person.
Okay, now I will explain about the increasing accuracy in impression formation. The first is avoid processing error. Second is check perception. Check perception. Check perception is a perception checking for the reduced accuracy and perception, and to make sure the perception more accurate. Number three is reduce uncertainty. Uncertainty is for to observe other people. Second, to prepare for different situation. And the last one is interact with the individual. Is to reduce how we interact with another person. Next is beware the just. Beware the just is work hypothesis. Next, for the increase accuracy in impression information is increase cultural sensitivity. Because people nowadays is sensitive with culture different. When we had new culture in our life. So for the last one is analyze impression. Impression our impression with people.
So first is about impression management. What is impression management? So impression management is referred to the process we go through to communicate the image you want other to have of you. So the impression management is you make the other is largely the result of the message you communicate. So next is impression accuracy. So impression accuracy divide into first infinity checking and second is politeness strategy. So for infinity checking strategy, mean is increase your chance of be liked. So such a strategy are especially important in initial interaction, and their use by teacher have been found to increase study motivation. Like this. Second is the politeness strategy. Politeness strategy are used to make ourselves appear likable in terms of positive and negative type. Politeness strategy divide into first positive phase and the second a negative phase. Positive phase, the desire to be viewed positively by another, to be thought of the favorably. For the negative phase, the desire to be autonomous, to have the right to do as we wish. So next is the entering of the impression management. To excuse failure, self-handicapping strategy can set up barrier to make the task impossible. Next is deprecating humor. To hide flaws, self-monitoring strategy used to suppress the negative about ourselves while striving to present a positive image. Infinity checking strategy. To be followed, influencing strategy used when you want people to see you as a leader, include of a logic, stressing of the similitude, stressing of the agreement, and positive social proof. And the last is the access. To confirm self-image, imaging confirming strategy. The point is communicate to confirm your self-image. For example, if you see yourself as a life of the party, you tell joke and try to amuse the people in the party.